Okay, what I've got is, these are recycled. Let's see, whose was this one? These are old campaign signs I picked up. And I just measured, drew some pencil lines, and the second B in my name is kind of the middle. So I'm just sketching. This isn't exactly where my paint's going to go, but it just gives me an idea. Just make sure I don't run out of space. And so what I did was, I used a Krylon Paint Plus primer, and it said on it, can use on plastic. So this is basically 2 coats of that over the campaign sign, and the old campaign signs are somebody else's garbage. So then I painted a couple of, and I painted them while they're on their stakes on the ground, so I could paint both sides at the same time. So it's pretty much 2 coats, and it was $4 a can, and let's see, I don't know if I ended up using 3 cans for 6 signs. I think I did. I think I used 3 cans for 6 signs, and they were a little less than $4 a can. I think it was like $3.96 a can at Walmart. So the plastic was free. The paint primer to cover them up so I could reuse them, was probably $12.50 or less than $13 for 6 signs. That's up to $2. And the stakes were reused too. So, and at this place, I love this place. We've got artists in my family. Oh yeah, chalk markers. You can, instead of bumper stickers you can use for 3 weeks, use chalk markers. I haven't used those yet. Okay, so Jerry's Artorama on Gallatin Pike, I think. So after I did my Krylon paint and primer stuff, let that dry. You don't have to let it completely dry. Just have to let it dry enough. Then I did this. This is supposed to be red, but it's not as red as I thought. So I got this one. I got more than I needed, but I didn't know how much I'd need, and I still don't. So because I'm planning on doing some great big signs. So this is what I did my Paid For by Lydia Hubbell. Lydia Hubbell for Council, Lydia Hubbell Treasurer. And then I used the broad edge of this. Let me show you. They call that a chisel tip. And that's what it looked like. And I think it turned out pretty nice. And I like it better than the paint and the brush. It's just messier. So I think that's clearer and crisper and cleaner looking, and I don't know if it's easier to read or not, but it was quicker and easier to work with, and I don't have brushes to wash. And it's red enough. It looked pinker when it dried darker. It looked pinker when it was wet, but it dried darker. It's not as bright a red as that, but it's red. And then you can see, if you look real close, you can see my pencil signs, but you're not going to see them from the road. So, oh, okay. And then after I painted them, I put 2 coats of this. And got this from Jerry's Artorama. I spent about $100 on paint and chalk markers and this, and I figured that would make me 50 or, well, this goes pretty quick. 1 can of this. I think I did 2 light coats, and this was 2 coats, but it took more of this to cover, because I'm covering something dark, and then this is just trying to keep it from fading. And it's just, they're only going to be out there for a month. And so one can of this did all 6 signs. And it was 6 signs. And I'm not sure how much this was at Jerry's. If they've got this somewhere cheaper, like if they got it at Michael's, you can use a 40% off coupon. Then you can get a can of that cheaper. And let's see. So that's it. And don't stack them up on each other unless you know they're good and dry. Don't leave them stacked up in your car because they might stick together in the hot sun. So anyway, that's my homemade signs. And I think that I want to stand out. I'm not the typical candidate. Okay, this is the paint, and there's a whole bunch of this in here, and I might use these. I get some of the great big giant, like 4x8 foot pieces of Coroplast. The new pieces of Coroplast are like $20 for a 4x8. So I don't know if I'll use the paint on that or not. But there's a whole bunch of paint in here left. I should have gotten so much, but I think it was cheaper in the he's been out sitting on my porch getting rained on. I do all this stuff outside, and it's too hot to do any right now. But anyway, so that's it. The reason I got this, and like that one didn't have any kind of sealer on it. Well, maybe it did. Maybe it had a little bit, but but not much. But this is supposed to be, it's exterior paint, so it shouldn't fade right away. And if you use something cheap like cheap permanent markers from Dollar Tree, they'll fade like in hours in the sun. So don't do that. But this is pretty good, and this is what they told me at Jerry's Artorama that they used on their outside signs at their parking places that they made. That were really cute. And I don't know how many coats of this they put on it. 2 is probably plenty for a couple of months, but if it was something that was going to be out there for more than a couple of months, I'd probably put several coats.